Liked by the sound of violence.
Ulysses S. Grant was not a great strategist. He just knew if I have 70,000 troops and you have 30 and we both lose 25, I win. That was Ulysses S. Grant's strategy. I have more men than you. I have more guns than you. My army's bigger. I have 60,000. You have 40,000. We both lose 35. I win. That's how Cyborg has fought her entire career.
What up, everybody, and welcome back to yet another Sound of Violence podcast. We are an MMA podcast to let you know the MMA podcast you should catch, skip, and can't miss each week, as well as we try and check out a new show. I am Pulver, and I am back yet again with my co-host, Chris Madaffer. What up, dude?
I should say good morning, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's super early in the morning. We are actually recording this about 53 minutes before the card starts, thanks to Google deciding to completely get rid of Hangouts, which has been awesome. That's been great. That's been a lot of fun today. So I figured out OBS, which is dope. As you guys can see on the stream, we got a little bit of a new setup, so hopefully it's working out all right. But Chris, why don't we go ahead and get into... Oh, by the way, you guys will see the size of Chris's video jump all over the place during this. I don't know how to fix it yet. I'm still working on it, so you might see me adjusting that as we go. But Chris, why don't you start us off with your Papa Vodka presents, Doug Stanhope presents, our Totally Real sponsor.
So, since it's nice and early in the morning, at least for me, get the good old Cutwater Bloody Mary action going.
Dog, you cannot see this, but I also have the Cutwater Bloody Mary action going.
Okay.
You rocking the spicy or the mild, brah?
I'm very, very white, so I got mild.
You fucking...
Actually, I'm not that white.
I'm all about that spice life, brah.
No, because I like the spicy one, but I know sometimes if you don't shake it, it gets extra chunky and you get fucked.
Oh, good call. I totally forgot to shake this right now, and
I shake this and now it tastes great. I just kind of wanted the mild. I kind of wanted more flavor. Like I like spice, and it's not that spicy.
It's pretty fucking spicy for a Bloody Mary, though.
Actually, wait, no, it is. Yeah.
It's got some good kick.
But yeah, I got that right now, and then of course since Colby, I didn't have my MAGA hat. I'm just kidding. I don't have a MAGA hat. It's ridiculous. So I got something else that maybe people on the right would like, or more on the right. So I got this
pretty sweet koozie, brah.
Yeah, actually, it's not just that. It's actually some koozie I got. I don't even know where I got this koozie from. Actually,
shocking. It's a big old moonshine koozie that says.
Yeah, got my shine, got my dip, MAGA.
God damn it. Cool, man. Well, I guess we should go ahead and jump into format real quick on this one, since this is definitely going to be an abridged version of the show. We will probably be breaking down part of this morning's card while the card is happening. So why don't we go ahead and kick this off. Chris, why don't you start us off with the MMA podcast you recommend people catch this week?
I have multiple, but I'll probably just mention one per each for a segment. So Heavy Hands is the catch. They discuss Colby versus Robbie is a great fight, even though Colby doesn't really need this win to prove he's a title contender. I mean, he already proved that against RDA. And I know people will counter-argue with that. But, a lot of people beat RDA. So, yeah, but RDA fights nothing but just killers. If Lawler takes his time, he will lose rounds because Colby's a great pressure fighter. He kind of analyzed the fight. That's what Heavy Hands does. They're kind of more of like a last segment kind of thing for us. They just discuss how the fight matches up between both of these guys. They mentioned a good point. They said Robbie traditionally loses these kind of matchups because he gets frustrated by the time the fight is already over. They said look at his fight against Cowboy, even though he did win that fight, I believe. I think they both were picking Colby, but I think Conor I think in the vivisection, Connor went with Robbie, so I was kind of confused. So maybe he changed his mind.
I think on vivisection, Connor took Colby. I think Zane and Matt Brown.
I think it's just Colby. I think it's Connor just doesn't like Colby, so he said, "I don't like to pick him."
That's definitely part of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Then they talk about. They briefly recap Holloway and Edgar. They said no matter how great Holloway is, he's going to have to make some technical adjustments to how he moves backwards and reacting to pressure. And then it wasn't this podcast, but it was our MMA show with Jimmy Smith and the guy Ryan.
Actually, that was our intro for this week.
Oh, nice.
Actually, the 240 recap was.
I remember they mentioned a good point. I think it was them who talked about Volkanovski, but then again, I'm getting confused with the other ones I listened to. Volkanovski cuts a shit ton of weight, given how short he is. He's just really big and stocky and wide.
Well, he used to be like 200-something pounds when he played rugby.
I can believe that, I guess, but
you think he would be a little bit
flabbier. No, there's no fucking way he's 200 pounds. I mean, it's possible, but if it's nothing, I get it. Bones are denser, muscles are dense for people with body types, but if he's 5'6", I could see get up to 190 tops, but 200, that's pushing it.
Yeah.
Because even in like NFL players like Darren Sproles, one little running back for the Chargers, he's 5'6", and he got to like 190 at the most. So it's like, come on, dude. There's a limit. So, so that was solid. I can mention. I know we're strapped for time. Yeah, that's a good one.
It was a really solid episode overall. They also talked a bit about Rogan's awful commentary last week, which was fucking terrible. But I don't like. They brought up the thing that I think a lot of people have been saying all week, which is, or maybe it wasn't them. No, they did. They were the ones that brought up. Somebody mentioned on Twitter that Rogan's a casual, which 100%. Rogan's a hella casual MMA fan nowadays. He has been for like a couple years, since Ronda, basically.
Yeah, I think it's. I don't know if it has to do with he's just more focused on his podcast. I mean,
yeah, I think he just has way more shit going on, and he's starting to give less and less of a fuck about the UFC, especially after the buyout.
Oh, I remember just during the main event last week, there's like literally a part where he goes, Holloway's bleeding from, or no, Frankie's bleeding from the nose. There's like awkward silence, like a 1 minute, and then Anik is like, what the fuck?
Yep. Classic Rogan.
Yeah.
Cool, man. So we will just keep on moving on, because again, sorry about this one's going to be pretty abridged. So for my catch this week, I had the co-main event Power Hour for August 2nd. I believe it's where they did a deep dive. I think the name of it is something like Deep Dive of Robbie Lawler or something like that. But essentially they went through Robbie Lawler's entire career. And they just kind of did a deep dive, everything from like the old Nick Diaz fight and everything back in the day. And just all of Robbie's terrible, terrifying one-liners that he always uses, like that Conor McGregor shit.
Oh, take his soul.
Yeah, take his soul. Fucking Robbie Lawler's the best. So that was hilarious. They also talk a bit about all the Cyborg and Dana drama. And then they had some super great lines about Colby Covington. I think at one point Chad Dundas called him the high school drama production of Rick Rude, which I thought was a pretty goddamn solid reference. And yeah, it's just a lot of talk about how Dana is kind of just all over the fucking place. They play the clip of Dana saying that Tough is never going away, which I don't know if you heard that this week, but at one point Dana just straight up was like, "Oh, Tough is important to the entire sport. It'll never go away. We're never getting rid of Tough." It's like, oh Jesus, we're never getting.
It's almost like it's like produced in a way. It's like, oh, it's a tax write-off, or oh, we need to spend more money, or some shit. Like they try to justify it some weird, nonsensical production shit.
For sure. And Chad Dundas Ben Folks actually pitched that he thinks a witch cursed Dana White, and she told him as long as Tough exists, Dana can never die. So. It's about as good an argument as any other for why Tough still exists. As one of the 5 people who still watch it, I've seen every season of Tough. I even watched the heavyweight and 145.
I was gonna say, I think that's the only one I've missed actually ever. Was the one with was it Gastelum?
Yeah, Gastelum and Whitaker.
Yeah, I didn't see that one.
It was totally fine. Katarina Leonard and Macy
Wasn't Macy Chasson? Yeah,
Yep.
that's what I thought.
Yeah, it was pretty good season. The heavyweights were fucking rough, but heavyweights are always rough on Tough. I don't like the way
I
that
see
came
what
out.
I see what you did there.
On that note, we'll keep on moving on. But yeah, just a really solid episode of the CME Power Hour. That's, of course, from their Patreon. It's one of their 2 live shows that they do exclusively on Patreon. That one and the live chat on Wednesdays, which was also pretty good. So, yeah, just highly recommend their Patreon. They've been doing a lot of dope stuff.
Nice, man. Yeah, those guys are always great. I know I tried to listen to them this week, but I didn't give myself a chance.
Yeah, all their episodes they did this week were real solid. So did you say you had another catch?
Yeah, our MMA show was another one.
Yeah, that was one of mine as well.
Yeah, I remember I tried listening to it on the website, and then it was ironic because Jimmy was like, "Oh, this is the reason why this is delayed. It's because my internet." And every time it would cut out, I'm like, "Is he being like just kind of funny right now?" I'm like, "Oh no, literally, you need to download Podbean, like whatever."
Yeah.
So I downloaded that, and it worked.
Was it the preview show or the recap show?
Oh, they previewed Discard.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I listened to the recap show, which was really solid. That's where our clip actually from this week comes from, which is Jimmy Smith, as you guys heard on the intro, compares Cyborg to Ulysses S. Grant, in that Ulysses S. Grant was not some like master tactician when it come to winning wars or when it came to battles, but he just knew he had more numbers. And he could just, if we both lose 30,000 troops, or we both lose a large portion, I'm still going to win because I have the numbers to do it. Which I thought was like a really interesting point in the way that Cyborg fights.
That is interesting.
Yeah, Jimmy's super cerebral. I really like that guy. It's a shame he's not doing commentary for the UFC.
Yeah, UFC fucked up because we could have used his commentary for last week.
For sure. Yeah, Jesus Christ.
I remember you mentioned before he sounds similar to his co-host Ryan, and yeah, they do. I can tell the difference now.
I can too. I'm finally starting to get it, but there's still some sentences here and there where I'm like, I think that was Ryan. Oh, I'm not positive.
They talk about the hype train that is Afghanistan's Nasrat Haspra. I always say that guy's name wrong.
Nasrat Haqparast.
Haqparast. Okay, that's what it is. Haqparast. Yeah, that guy trains at TriStar. That's right.
Yep.
Jimmy had to triple check that Jim Miller and Clay Guida haven't fought before, which, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I think just about everybody did that this week.
He brings up another point in that this co-main event is bad in the sense that when there's a co-main event, there needs to be stakes, and this one has nothing. It's just like, okay, it's either a win for, one of these guys.
Yep.
So, yeah. They talk about Robbie's fought a lot of great wrestlers. Colby hasn't fought a striker such as Robbie yet, though. I mean, you can make an argument for Rafael dos Anjos, though, because he's a great volume. So we'll see. I think they mean power-wise.
Yeah, no one that Colby's fought has near the power punching that Robbie does.
Yeah. They could see both fighters winning respectively. They said Colby's at where he is because of his ability and his wrestling heel shtick. However, he's very vanilla without the heel turn. I mean, I think a lot of people are without the heel turn. They both like Robbie to win and think Covington's wheels are going to fall off this weekend because they said historically heel turns don't last. They said look at Tito Ortiz back in the day after he lost. He went from the Huntington Beach bad boy to the people's champ.
Yeah. Tito's a weird example, though, with this fucking Ken Shamrock antics and all that shit.
Yeah, watch him tweet us. You're a fucking punk, dude.
Tito's too busy fucking blondes to give any fucks about what we have to say.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, Colby, as far as his thing, if he loses, does the heel thing go away? I don't know.
I don't think so.
Probably not. Yeah, I'll get into that in our segment, which is in our preview, which is probably in about like 10 minutes. Yeah, that's that for my second catch. So
cool, man. Yeah, it was all the shows they put out this week are really solid. I'm curious about the exclusive shows they've been doing on Podbean. I may have to check those out. And they keep saying that they've been switching hosting sites, which I don't know why, or I don't know if I'm guessing they're talking about what they use to speak with each other online. Like they probably, I'm guessing what happened is they just switched from Google to back to Skype or to some other proprietary thing. But I don't know. We're using Skype this week. Video seems to be a little bit better.
Yeah, it's not
apart
too
from
bad.
your video changing size every fucking.
Yeah, and the fact that I can't see you at all. I just
We forgot to
just
tell
see
people
TP.
that. Yeah, you can't actually see anything, but everybody else can.
Yeah.
So really, you're the one.
So if you see me trying if I'm not looking in the camera, it's just because it makes it a little. It kind of makes it awkward if you just try talking into a camera because you're not seeing anything except for a tiny reflection.
Right, and I keep looking over at the video software trying to fucking rescale your shit, so we probably look like Stevie Wonder on this goddamn thing, just eyeballs all over the place.
Yeah, I'm just like this the whole time. Like,
yeah.
might as well just have some fucking sunglasses on at this point.
Just a lot of head nodding and shit like that. Cool, man. Did you have any other catches for this week?
So what I said heavy hands. I said our MMA show. I'll just briefly mention if I did it. And then I'll briefly mention Fights Gone By because they talked about Jack said, does Donald Trump Jr. know Colby's antics are an act? Probably not. That's a good point.
Yeah.
And then I like how Jack said he previewed the one card, which happened yesterday.
Yep.
He said Arjun Bular is Indian by way of Canada. He must get his poutine at 7-Eleven. I thought that was fucking clever.
That is a very Jack Slack joke.
Yeah. So that's what I have for an honorable / catch from your boy Jack.
Cool, man. Well, did you have any MMA podcasts you recommend people skip this week?
Actually, I do not.
I actually don't either. I thought it was a really solid week overall. There were a couple where like almost could have been a skip, but they kind of rallied there towards the end. So I really don't have any. Cool, man. Well, then we will keep on moving on. Why don't you let us know the MMA podcasts you recommend people can't miss this week?
Can't miss this week, and I'm glad I watched this one. Was Grange TV.
Really?
With Fab, and that's his co-host name, Fab. Robert Whitaker, of course, Bobby Knuckles. They opened it up by calling him the biracial angel, or as he says, if you want to get more fans, call yourself the bi-angel. Rob's like, I don't know about that. They talk about playing boxing VR. The guest, of course, is Jimmy fucking Croat.
Jimmy fucking Croat.
They asked, of course, Robert nerded out. He said, hey, what's up with your Resident Evil tattoo? Are you a big gamer? And he's like, actually, not really. He's like, it's because my sister and I both grew up watching our older brother play it, so we got matching tattoos. And he gave Robert kind of look a little disappointed. He's like, fuck. He's like, all right.
Checks out. Although Robert Whitaker thinks you're a fucking filthy casual if you're playing on a console anyway, so.
Yeah, he's PC master race kind of guy.
100%.
Then again, doesn't he have like sponsors and shit? So that doesn't surprise me.
So.
Yeah,
I know he's a big MMO dude, and I think in every single interview about video games, he brings up Baldur's Gate. Like,
that or he loves fucking Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah.
What is it? ELO or some shit? Whatever that's called.
Yeah, the Electric Light Orchestra game.
Oh no, it's not ELO. Yeah, that's right. The fucking play Mr. Blue Sky. I'm doing a raid. Crew discusses how he got into MMA and how his mother's side of the family was full of boxers. So he's used to boxing growing up. Fab says there are people who still legitimately believe Robert can make 170. Robert laughs at those people, as do we. And he's like, yeah, Jimmy, you can't make 185. And Fab says, oh, it's because he looks like a giant dwarf. And he's like, I do. Rob talks about his UFC beginnings, meeting his wife. He says it wasn't until his 4th UFC fight where his current boss at his other job had called him and said, hey, you coming back to work or are you good? He's like, I'm good, boss. He's like, but I did like my old job a lot. Crew talks about his debut against Paul Craig back in the day, which was like, what, a year and a half, 2 years ago, and how he had a beer with him afterwards, even though he lost. Rob mentions the times where he's fought with a broken hand before fights. He says he just doesn't want to pull out of a fight. Even that he's been unlucky, he admits, the past, 2 years?
Yeah, because his fucking stomach was falling out of his body.
Yeah. And then they ended. I kind of fast forwarded, so they had another video coming up. They played the original Mortal Kombat, which was hilarious.
Oh, nice. That game is fucking real janky.
It's bad. Rob keeps spamming spear uppercut with Scorpion.
100%. That's what you
like a piece of shit. And what's hilarious and ironic is, as calm and level-headed as Robert is, like in interviews, he turns into a savage in video games and starts saying "fuck you, fuck you, fuck you," and it's like, whoa.
Yeah. No, yeah, him and DJ both. Everybody, they have this reputation of being super calm and relaxed all the time, but when both of them play, they get animated as shit.
Yeah, and then Robert gets mad because he doesn't know how to block, and Jimmy refuses to tell him.
Oh man! Oh, that's right. Wait, there was always a block button for Mortal Kombat, right?
Yeah, you can press B like on the joystick or the gamepad or whatever.
Yeah,
on the arcade.
That's funny.
Yeah, and then Fab, the co-host, ironically whoops on both of them because he plays Sub-Zero, just freezes them and does spams diagonal kick, jump diagonal kick. So it was really entertaining.
That's what's up. That sounds really good. I might have to go back and watch that. Cool, man. Well, I will jump into the episode I recommend people can't miss, and that is MMA Junkie episode 2975.
Nice. Almost at 3,000.
Well, yes, they are almost at 3,000, and this was their last show on Sirius XM. So they are no longer going to be a weekly show. They're going to be doing half-hour episodes twice a week, since they're leaving Sirius, and I'm guessing that's all Junkie can afford to sign them to at the time. So it's kind of a bummer. It is kind of the death of the last of the big tentpole kind of podcast. I mean, between the OGs were all, the new era of OGs were always Sherdog Radio Network, which is now defunct, the MMA Hour, which is now defunct, and MMA Junkie Radio, which is now no longer the same version of that show. So it's really kind of crazy how much MMA podcasts have changed over the last years, in that those were always like the shows that have been around forever, and none of them are really around anymore. So it was kind of a bittersweet episode, but I really liked it. It was Gorgeous George Goes and Dan Tom in studio. They talk a bit at the top about Cyborg. Dana saying Cyborg is released and all of that. Drama.
She's free and clear, bro.
Yeah, whatever the fuck that means. I just like how Scott Coker keeps being like, "Yo, are we fucking around, or is this actually a thing? Because I'll sign her right goddamn now."
Baby, come back.
Right. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. The episode overall is just kind of like it's almost like a retrospective. They have Nolan King on, who of course recently joined Junkie. I really like Nolan King. He's always done great work. They talk a lot about how he got into MMA journalism and Contender Series, since he's a big fan of that. And they also talk about old promotions that they wish they could have covered at the time. Stuff like Pride and I'm trying to remember some of the other ones. WEC, stuff like that. So it's pretty cool to hear. Scott Kent joined in studio, who's the head of Lion Fight, the Muay Thai, the American Muay Thai promotion, which I haven't heard a lot from Lion Fight.
You know what? I'm glad you say that. At my work, when we're in like the big room at my work, the barrel room, I'll call it. We have like that Vizio where it has like that free TV, that Pluto TV.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen advertisements for, and they have Glory. They have Glory Kickboxing, and I think I saw Lion on there.
Yeah, Pluto's dope. Their fight channel, they've been doing stuff on there for a long time.
Well, what I always put on for people at work is Fail Army, because who doesn't want to see people eat shit while you're drinking a beer?
There you go.
So,
also, spoiler alert: Chris may or may not work at a brewery.
Evidently, or as Doc Holliday would say, that's the rumor.
Yeah, that it is. So anyway, yeah. Also, Eve Edwards in that episode calls in, who's like one of the old school guests for Junkie. He's been on forever, going back. It was cool to hear him on there. He talks about the PFL and some of the stuff that's going on in that. And yeah, that's when they announced that they'll be doing 2 30-minute shows a week. And Dan Tom brought up a really good point that the record the MMA Junkie set for like amount of shows within a time frame is fucking insane. Like I said, this was show 2,975.
Yeah,
and that
crazy.
goes back, I think, 14 years, something like that, if you include the tag radio stuff. So pretty fucking wild overall, and just very cool to hear. It's gonna be weird not having that show around, and I'm just excited to see what they do going forward. So speaking of which, I guess that segues nicely into the new show I listened to this week, which was, after I rescale Chris's video again, it was the Gorgeous George and Go's Show episode 1. So they have started a Patreon, and for $2 you can get an episode a week, or for $5 you can get 2 episodes a week. And the first episode they put out is with Gorgeous George, Goes, and Richard Hunter, and it's essentially just a big recap of kind of where they've come from and where, like, they kind of just go through their career and how they got into MMA podcasting and all that stuff. There's a lot of talk about Ryan Bennett and his old show MMA Weekly, which in the description for every episode we've ever put out, we have the RIP Ryan Bennett tag, because that dude is, by all means, the founder of MMA podcasting. And unfortunately, he had that accident and is no longer around. But it's really cool hearing them kind of talk about how the reason they got into this stuff was because of Ryan Bennett's show, and they would just hang out in the chat all the time. And eventually they met Ryan, and they would, at the fighter hotels, be pulling guests from the lobby and bringing them up to the room to do interviews with Ryan and stuff like that. So it's just really interesting to hear old school stories about that. They also talk a lot about how Joe Silva and Dana White used to call into the show all the time randomly and tell like weird behind the scenes stuff and just like call bullshit, which is crazy that shit used to go on, considering fucking Dana nowadays. And the fact that matchmakers they sign a contract saying they won't go on shows and talk about anything anymore, which is a goddamn bummer.
Yeah, it's interesting in retrospect when you really kind of, well, a lot of things kind of line up with shit like that in retrospect as far as what was done then versus now, especially with Dana.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Jesus.
Just even vlog Dana from a couple years ago was so much more palatable.
I saw someone do a video edit where it shows him in his interview with Laura Stanko from like a couple days ago. He's, oh yeah, relationship with Cyborg is great, or something like that. And then they cue the Curb Your Enthusiasm music, and it shows him from like, I think it was 2009 or 2010.
Oh,
where he's like, yeah, have you seen her? Looks like Vanderlei in a dress. It's like, what the fuck?
Such a
like, oh no. It was funny. Dana, then his eyebrows, dude, literally like ran down. It's just like, I was like, what the fuck is that? I was like, okay, huh? Like that's the most hair you have on your head, on your face, clearly.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah.
Let's see. So some other stuff they talk about. They talk about how they originally came up with the idea for the show with Frank Trigg at IHOP, which I thought was a weird.
That checks out.
Yep, exactly. And then they talk about doing their first tag radio show, which was the show they did with Frank Trigg for a whole handful of years. And they recorded it right after Trigg got KO'd by Lawler. And they're like, okay, well, that'll be our first episode. We'll talk to Trigg and kind of go over the Robbie Lawler fight. Trigg's like, well, I can't really do that because I don't remember the fight. So it's fucking rough. So I guess they ended up taking a whole bunch of shots and were pretty hammered by the end of their first show, which he spec'd. That's how you do an MMA podcast correctly. Chris can't tell, but I'm raising my Bloody Mary.
I mean, that was probably us on our first one, or at least our test runs.
Dude, that's still us. To be fair,
I mean, yeah. I mean,
depending on the week. So yeah, it's just really cool overall. Then they wrapped that episode there. Richard actually talks a little bit about what he was doing at the time. He was a Big Dick Hunter on the radio out doing some radio show out in the middle of fucking nowhere, if I remember right.
I'd probably call myself that too if I was in the middle of nowhere because who's listening? Actually, that's not true.
It's like in the middle of radio name too.
Oh, okay. Well, and if you're in the middle of nowhere, that means actually everyone's listening. So who am I kidding? So
maybe.
It depends. Well, because what better thing do you have to do if you're in the middle of nowhere to listen to radio and drink, right? So it's got some audience.
It's a very good point.
Yeah.
It's a very solid point. So Yeah, that's about all I had for this one. They said their next episode they're going to go through kind of the tag radio era and talk a bit about that and just how everything went for that. And then the episode after that, they're going to get into the MMA junkie era. So I think that show's going to be really interesting going forward, and I'm excited to see what they end up putting out, because I think now that they're not forced to do a daily show, number one, I think there's not going to be nearly as much talk about just fucking Gorgeous George sitting in traffic, which there was a lot of on the old show.
True.
And I think there's going to be less like forced interviews with Ali and stuff like that. I'm sure that'll still happen and stuff, but I think they'll be able to get more guests that they want to talk to and less just guests for guest's sake, you know?
Wait, did you say forced interview with Ali, like Ali Abdullah Sleaze?
I mean, they've done so many interviews.
Did you see who he signed or whom he signed last night or yesterday?
I did not.
Aaron Pico.
Sure. Aaron Pico seems to be making bad decisions. Why not add to the list?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
I just had to sour it for you. Anyways, I'll get to briefly. I had a new show. Or at least
shit.
I thought it was new, but then I remembered. It's pretty much new. I listened to these guys, I think, 2 or 3 years ago, like when we first started.
Pro tip for anybody that doesn't know if we talked about a podcast or not, including Chris, there's a search function on our website, and if you type in the name of the podcast, you can tell whether we've covered it.
So I'm pretty sure I listened to this a long time ago, but it's pretty much still new. There was another one I missed. It was the one Patty Holohan does.
Oh, yeah.
No Shame. I haven't listened to that yet, but it's because I finally found another website that kind of lists, which goes, it lists all these recommendations for MMA podcasts, and then it shows the last time it was updated. And I still get bummed out every time I see Talk & Talker. It's like 9 weeks ago. I'm like, God fucking damn it.
They came back for like a week or two and then just out again. It's like,
we got to tweet at fucking DC or Nick Swimmer and some of them.
I'm guessing after DC's fight, it'll hopefully.
No, he'll come back for sure. There's no way. Like, you already know that dude's probably getting blown up about it. Anyways, the new podcast was A Few Good Fights. Hosted by.
So you have listened to this show before, but it used to be called MMA on Point. No, that's the name of the website. It used to be called. Shit, I don't remember what it used to be called.
It's hosted by the MMA Movement with Rob and Noel.
No, you know what? It did used to be called MMA on Point, and now it's MMA Move. They've changed names like 3 times, I think.
And Young Sean. These guys are Irish as all hell.
Yep,
which is great. They talk about Max Holloway. They think he should fight Volkanovski on the 243 card in Melbourne. But they totally understand if Max wants to take it slow and kind of regroup, which is, I think, what he's going to do. They'll wait. They'll make him versus Volkanovski probably a headliner on a pay-per-view or a co-main, something like that. They lots of praise for Alexander Volkanovski. They talk about Frankie Edgar going to 135. Initially, they said it doesn't help either way, but they said there are some good matches for him there. They said they don't think he's necessarily over the hill. I don't think he's over the hill. And yeah,
he's not going up the hill.
He can win some fights at 135. Like he can, but
I think he probably gets smoked at 135 because he doesn't have the speed advantage.
Like I'm saying, hold up. Yeah, and they made a good point. I'm glad you said that. Everyone's the same size as you. Everyone's as fast as you. You know, like, I don't know. There's some fights he could win. Like, how would he do against Cejudo? I don't think he wins. I mean, there's not really many people I think really beat Cejudo right now. The only really person that could probably beat Cejudo is someone who's a lot more physical and just literally bigger than him and can kind of match him with his wrestling. There's interesting matchups at 135. Fuck you, Uriah Faber. Just had to get that out of the way. And don't get me wrong. I have nothing bad personal against Uriah Faber, and that's the caveat. Like,
Chris taking shots at the California man.
I'm saying this as, like, in a fighter standpoint. Like, yeah, Uriah, you seem like a fucking nice guy. I'm sure I'd love to have a beer with you.
Does Uriah even drink beer?
Probably not. He just smokes a lot of weed, I think.
I don't even think he smokes weed because his parents were hippies.
Oh, yeah, he's anti-vax, too. Fuck, that checks out.
Oh, yeah.
Never mind. Whatever, Uriah. I'll fucking drink an O'Doul's with you. I'm just kidding. I'll have a soda. Right? That's what we do now.
You
I don't
coconut
know.
water, brah.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, too much of an alcoholic.
Can't relate.
I'm functioning though. I try. Yeah, so anyway, sorry, I'm fucking just getting distracted. I need another Bloody Mary. Got work in 3 hours. Yeah, they think Felicia Spencer will be legit with time. However, where does she go from here? Does she want to fight at 145 again? Does she want to go down to 135? I don't know how her weight cut is, to be honest. I don't want to say she was looking like chunky or anything like that, but she definitely had like comfortable weight in there. You know,
Yeah,
I kind of feel like
she's pretty
if
fucking
I'm honest,
big for that.
she's big. And shouts out to her chin. That was nuts.
She's always been tough as shit.
That was like, I was like, what the fuck is going on? She's like eating all these shots. Like, what the fuck? Like, is she the real Big Mac? I'm just kidding. No, that's always going to be Mackenzie Dern. No, Mackenzie Dern's Big Mac for reasons, because she misses weight by a lot. She blows weight. And she likes the Big Macs. God, dude, I just realized, imagine her on fucking Uncle Hinach's podcast. That would be either the greatest episode ever or the worst episode ever.
She'd definitely get pregnant again.
Yeah, let's acknowledge that for sure. Anyways, I'm going off on a tangent here. Dana and Cyborg's tenuous relationship. That's how I would describe it. Very shaky, and now it's not so shaky anymore. It's just completely shattered, right?
Right.
Isn't that how you would describe it? I mean, they said they would like to see Cyborg fight Julia Budd in Bellator. I would like to see that too. They anticipate, and they said, we apologize, guys, for mentioning his name, but we're Irish. They're like, what's Conor McGregor going to do? They said he's probably the alternate fill-in for Khabib versus Poirier, barring any
Rape
setbacks.
charges?
Oh, that too. Right, yeah. That was funny. This guy at my work, and I'm glad I talked to him. He's a big MMA fan. He's like, yeah. I heard Connor's coming back in 2020. I'm like, bro, he's not coming back until that those charges are either on a hiatus or they're cleared up or something comes about of it, you know.
Yep.
And he's like, oh, fuck, that makes sense. I'm like, guys, I didn't hear about that. I'm like, I know. I'm letting you know. Like, yeah. I want you to not be disappointed.
That's right. That's also why we're only referring to him as Irish Sports Star from now on until
that's right. Cleared. It was from BK to Irish Sports Star.
Yep.
Then they talk about a heavyweight champion, and he's not my heavyweight champion. Dillian White for boxing.
Not my heavyweight champ.
No, fuck no. This guy, let me get to this. Caught again for the second time for steroids, PEDs. And he was put on blast by Deontay Wilder. Please, what is it? Deontay's with Showtime? I think he's with Showtime. Please put this fight together. Please, Deontay Wilder, knock this dude the fuck out. Because I was like, Dillian White or Dillian. His name is spelled like Dillian, but there's no way no one's name is Dillian unless he's just special.
I mean, bro, there's some fucked up names out there. Have you looked at some of these cards?
Oh, yeah. I was going to call him Dillian White. Anyways, I looked at this guy's Instagram. I'm like, this guy's obnoxious as fuck. Fuck this guy. So, yeah, please feed him to Deontay Wilder. Hell, give him Tyson Fury. I need those guys. Anyways, that's my little boxing rant. Then they said, do we read into Colby and Robbie when they sparred and trained together, ATT, right? Like, wasn't Colby really young? But then again, they did do that. I know I listened to Colby when he was on Submission Radio last week. He talked about that. There's that channel I always kind of mention, MMA World on YouTube. Great channel for aggregated quotes and social media reactions. Go check them out. Anyways, that channel, the whole time it was pulling like bits and sound bites from either Colby or Robbie. It showed pictures of Robbie with Colby and Mike Brown. Like, they clearly trained together, like a lot, like on a lot of occasions. So if people are wondering about this whole beef, it's fucking fabricated. There's no beef. They were just former training partners. It's just Colby selling the fight.
Yep.
Good on him. That's
Colby being Colby.
Yeah. The only riled up reaction I got from Robbie during the media scrum, which was, I think, 3 days ago, was when a reporter asked him about, why did you leave ATT? And his kind of cool and collected Robbie gets, you can kind of see he's like, dude, did you really just ask me that? And then, but he's a professional, so he brushes it off. So good on Robbie. But you can tell he's like, dude, don't fucking talk about that.
That's funny.
That's pretty great. So that's all I got. And I know you'll ask me about well-rounded in a second, so I'll say that later. But
Cool, man.
yeah.
So I guess I'll throw out some honorable mentions here real quick. Yeah, I really like what the fuck is the name of that show nowadays? A Few Good Fights. It's had like 3 names. Yeah, I really like that show. Those guys are great.
Yeah.
So let's see, honorable mentions. The Writer and the Fighter, episode 41. You'll actually hear this on our intermission, on our break. You'll hear the clip of this. It's fucking just a really solid episode. Jake Smith and David Golden. They talk about how Jake is fighting Schmadam Schmikolati in Bellator here coming up in a couple weeks. So, or in I think in October, I want to say. So yeah, go ahead. Good luck figuring out who that is. The 150 fighter Schmadam Schmikolati. Let's see. They also talk a bit about how Nate versus Pettis seems like a bad idea because Nate's never dealt with kicks well, especially leg kicks. So that seems like it's going to be a predictably rough matchup.
Spoiler alert: Pettis is going to win that fight, and I will put money on that.
Yeah, unless Pettis gasses hard.
Oh yeah, but no. If anyone wants to actually bet me, Venmo me. Like I'll put $50 for Pettis. I mean, I could see him losing too, but no, that's not a good matchup for Nate.
Yeah,
unless he keeps it. So I just a spoiler alert. But then again, that's gonna be a fun fight either way. So.
Yeah, and speaking of fun fights, they also talk a bit about Cowboy versus Gaethje and how dope that's gonna be.
Another fight I will put $50 on. But then again, a lot of people put $50 on that fight. Yeah, I love you, Cowboy, and I love your ability to literally not give a fuck and you'll fight anyone. But I pray for your health. I really holy fuck, this is out of all the fights that you can give Cowboy. Oh shit, good luck.
Yeah, for real.
Dude, I'll just say this: I didn't realize the kind of knockout power Gaethje had in his right hand until I saw he did the Barboza. Oh shit! Yeah. No wonder why Conor doesn't want to fight you, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah,
Gaethje's a fucking wild man.
And shouts out to Gaethje. Shouts out to Trevor Whitman and that camp in Denver. I always fuck up the name of their camp. It's like
Elevation?
No, it's something else.
Evolution?
It's like the fuck was that? Sorry, I just got freaked out. Yeah, Rose is there, and there's a couple other killers there. But it's in Denver, near Denver. It's in Colorado. Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah. And I don't even remember when that fight is, but I am absolutely looking forward to that fight as well.
Yeah, it should be super fun. And then after that, it's just a bunch of food talk because Jake is currently in camp and can't eat what he wants to eat.
That's right.
So it's a lot of talk about. First off, Jake says he wants to run a PB&J eating contest after this fight.
Oh God,
which is hilarious.
Dude,
he also talks about how David talks about his best of sandwich list, which he has a gallery on his phone for, where he just has pictures of good sandwiches on his phone. It's a lot of this kind of talk. They talk about whether actually our clip that you guys will hear, they say pizza is like boxing and sandwiches are like MMA, because it's got variety, brah. And they also talk.
Well, never mind.
Yeah, and then Jake asked the lifelong question: is the person who invented pizza the GOAT chef?
I mean, probably.
See, you guys will hear on the clip, but David Golden says the person who makes pizza is like the Conor McGregor of chefs.
I mean,
it's real good.
I can see that.
Yeah, it's real solid. So highly recommend checking that out. MMA Vivisection, UFC on ESPN 5 was solid. Matt Brown guested for the first couple fights. Well, 2.5 fights, because he didn't know who the fuck Nasrat Haqparast and Joaquin Silva was.
Yeah, he was like, I don't even know who these two fighters are.
I thought your Skype cut out. I have no idea who those are, which is hilarious. Co-main event, episode 365 was really good. We talk about Dana White unpromoting Cyborg and shit like that. Let's see. We talked about those. The Hammer MMA episode 465 was solid. It's just Steve hosting solo and Greg called in, and Dave was nowhere to be found. I don't He just disappeared, evidently. Severe MMA, Shawnee Podcast, as he's now known, did a Patreon episode with Tommy Tohold about who the greatest featherweight of all time is. That one's pretty interesting. A-Side Live Chat for August 1st with Pete C. Carroll guested on it. A lot of talk about GOAT conversations and Dana Cyborg drama. One's lack of transparency, that kind of stuff. Eurobash episode 47 was solid. There's an interview with Brendan Loughnane.
Yep, I caught that one.
Yeah, it was really solid. And they talk a bit about how Brave is sketchy as fuck and clearly has ties to like political leaders and is just a front for shit like that. And then there's an interview with Nasrat Haqparast also, which is dope. MMA Roadshow episode 227 was pretty solid. They talk about all the biblical plague shit happening in Vegas. And there's an interview
with all the grasshoppers.
Yeah.
People thought they were
flooding.
locusts. Evidently, they're grasshoppers.
Yeah, grasshoppers and flooding. The grasshoppers came evidently because of the flooding. But
and you know what? If there's any sort of plague going to go on, it's definitely going to hit Vegas.
Yeah.
For a lot of cities. So
Vegas or Bakersfield, one of the two.
Or
the entire state of Florida.
Detroit. Yeah, the state of Florida. Chicago, Gary, Indiana. There's a lot of. Never mind. Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, there's also an interview with Jillian Robertson on that episode, which is really good. She is fucking adorable, and was hilarious.
Yeah, she seems like it.
Yeah. There's also the scrum with Dana. He played the clip of Dana talking about how tough will live on forever, and how it's the greatest game in combat sports. And then Protect Your Neck, episode 140 was really solid. So Dan Tom talks a bit about Junkie leaving Sirius, and then he does a really solid breakdown. So, fun one for sure. Cool, man. So real quick before we go on break, do you have any well-rounded podcasts or shows or anything you wanted to shout out?
Yeah, this one's appropriate. I listen to them just about almost every day, every Monday and Thursday. Spoiler alert.
Billy fucking Budd.
Billy Freckles. Bill Burr. So I like this one because he talked about, according to him, mixed martial arts was introduced and made popular by Bruce Lee, evidently.
He's not entirely wrong.
He's not entirely wrong, yeah. I get it, where he's coming from. And then he said, and as far as white people introducing it, David Carradine, classic actor who was who played Bill in Kill Bill, and so I always thought it was he in Westerns, but it's his family. It was
I think it was his brother.
It was his brother. I think it's Keith Carradine. Because I think the guy who plays Wild Bill Hickok in fucking Deadwood is a Carradine brother.
Yeah, and I think David Carradine was the one in Kung Fu, the TV show, right?
Yeah, yes, because I always get the Carradines confused with the Henriks. I think it's the Henriksen family. Lance Henrik
probably. I had a pop gun when I was a kid that was signed by one of the Carradines that weren't dead at the time. I don't remember.
No, they have a massive family and a fuckload of. Let me see, because what game I've been playing? It's free for if you have PlayStation Plus, and I had played the demo a year ago, and I like Choose Your Own Adventure. Detroit Become Human, great game.
Oh, fucking great story. David Cage.
What's this guy's name? Lance Henriksen. Yeah, this motherfucker was like in a bunch of Jean-Claude Van Damme movies. He's a versatile. He plays a villain, and he has a huge line of it's like those Hollywood families that play villains or like. But anyways, shouts out to that
and shit like that.
Yeah, shouts out to Nicholas Coppola or Nicolas Cage, as you may know him.
Exactly.
The old doo-wop Dago that doesn't look like a doo-wop Dago.
That's right. The old fucking Gumby's horse in Peggy Sue Got Married, because his fucking cousin directed that movie, so he could.
There's a reference for you. Jesus Christ. Yeah, or how fucking Nicholas's cousin Sophia ruined The Godfather Part 3. I think it was his cousin.
I mean, everything ruined The Godfather Godfather Part 3 ruined The Godfather Part 3.
That didn't happen. See, that movie could have used some Nicolas Cage. That would have been appropriate.
Yeah, checks out.
Yeah.
So some well-rounded shows I have for this week. I've been watching all the Evil Bong movies again, which, Jesus Christ.
Wait, which movies?
Evil Bong.
Oh, there's an evil Bond. Like, wait, evil James Bond?
No,
What the
evil
fuck is that?
bong, like the thing you smoke weed out of.
Oh, you mean your water tobacco pipe?
Exactly. Yeah, I've been watching
Yeah.
that. I also found out the third one Patrick Klepek wrote, who is was from Giant Bomb and is with Waypoint. And fucking random fact, I also got like goddamn like 50 retweets and a couple hundred likes for mentioning it on Twitter on my actual personal one, which is weird. I don't know why people like that or care. I just found it really weird. So that's a thing. The Co-Main Event Movie Club, the Co-Main Event podcast on their Patreon did Point Break, and it's really fucking good.
That sounds really good.
Yeah, definitely
Like,
recommend that.
they did a movie commentary, or they just watched it? And
They
kinda-
watched it and did a recap.
Okay. I'll have to listen to the recap then.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
real
yeah.
solid.
That reminds me of every time I see him. Shouts out to Michael Mays. If I and I'm always meeting him at a fucking bar. We go, I'm like, hey, Utah. He just laughs every time.
Mike Mays is great. I miss that guy.
No, he loves that. I love that you call me Utah every time. I know, I'm like, because you're Polynesian. It's hilarious.
Super good. And then the other show I wanted to briefly shout out is the Cigar Authority. I've talked about it before, but they're a cigar podcast with a bunch of old dudes from the New England area. They all have fucking thick-ass accents. It's a lot of the Cigar Podcast.
Fucking cigar.
They pronounce every single Spanish name completely wrong. because of
Oh,
their accents.
God.
So
Oh,
it's
no.
really fucking good.
Like the
Trying to-
name, probably the name Quinones. Yeah, Quinones.
It's
Quinones.
worse than that because David understands how it's supposed to sound. He just can't make his mouth work like that.
Oh.
So it's a lot
yeah.
of like la la la. You're like, that's not how that's supposed to sound. But they also put out a care package where you get, I think it's $25 for 4 cigars or $30 for 5 cigars that they send you each month. They're pretty dope. Like, let's see, what was it? This month is. So I got it. So it's the Nestor Miranda coffee selection or special selection coffee break. Jose Dominguez, Grande Natural, the Brick House Double Connecticut, the United Cigar Churchill, and the Mi Querida Firecracker.
That just reminded me, speaking of cigars, when are we're doing a commentary soon, I believe, right? Is that
Oh yeah, I think second week in August, third week in August, something like that.
Yeah,
Not next week, but the week after, I think.
Yeah, because my brother was asking about that, and then he's a big cigar guy. Maybe we could do some little cigar commentary or some shit. You could do that, and then pair it with some Cigar City. I don't fucking know. Do something clever.
There we go. Yeah, we'll
think
figure
about
something out for sure.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, we will go ahead and wrap this here, but we will be back in a minute to break down this card that starts in 2 minutes. So you know
Yep.
what? Before we even go on break, I'm going to go ahead and say that I think that Miranda is going to get the sub in the first.
I don't even know who the fuck is fighting right now. So
Hannah Goldie and Miranda Granger are fighting in 2 minutes, evidently. Well, they're probably actually fighting in like 12 minutes, but... so we will be back probably while that fight is happening to break down the rest of this card because we're doing so well on time today. But yeah, I got Miranda Granger by sub in the first. Do you have Hannah Goldie or Miranda Granger?
I'm just gonna agree with you because I
All
don't
right.
want to panic. Yeah.
There we go. Well, we will be back. In the meantime, you guys can listen to this clip of Jake Smith and David Golden talk about whether the guy who made pizza is the GOAT. We'll be right back.
Liked by the sound of violence.
If Gaethje Cowboy can't get you excited, I don't know what can.
You know what? Not fight topic at all, but I'll tell you what does get me excited is pizza. And I had this thought last night, and I'm gonna throw this out there to you, and I have this theory, and I want to hear your input.
Okay.
The person who invented pizza should be considered the greatest chef of all time.
I feel like it goes back to that Conor McGregor thing.
What?
I feel like
What?
like you're one of the most important chefs of all time. Not necessarily the greatest.
Generation, are you excited about it all?
Liked by the sound of violence.
If Gaethje Cowboy can't get you excited, I don't know what can.
You know what? Not fight topic at all, but I'll tell you what does get me excited is pizza. And I had this thought last night, and I'm gonna throw this out there to you, and I have this theory, and I want to hear your input.
Okay.
The person who invented pizza should be considered the greatest chef of all time.
I feel like it goes back to that Conor McGregor thing.
What?
I feel like
What?
like you're one of the most important chefs of all time. Not necessarily the greatest.
Generation, are you excited about it all?
All right, folks, we're back.
Yeah, we are. And I had to switch off the Bloody Marys because it's like 1,000 degrees out here in Santee. So I got some Firestone Walker Mind Haze in my Firestone Walker glass.
That is a great choice for a beer. I am continuing on the Bloody Mary tour here. I know I'm probably going to have a buzz going into work, so I apologize. Well, then again, I'm opening up, so I'll be fine. Anyways, that doesn't fucking matter. We probably should get into this next fight because the card is starting right fucking now, as previewed. So it's pretty meta. Anyways,
sure I have the card on a side TV. I'm pretty sure I have based on who I see on screen right now, I think I might have pulled up the Deportes version.
ESPN Deportes.
Oh, it definitely is Deportes.
Nothing wrong with that.
Except for the two dudes talking, or let's just say they're two dudes talking.
Are there subtitles?
Well, I have it on mute, and I don't see subtitles. So.
Okay, well, good luck.
Anyways,
this is UFC on ESPN 5, also known as UFC Newark.
Yep.
In Jersey.
Yeah, and this card is starting, well, right now. Because this was originally supposed to be the Sochi, Russia card.
Oh, fuck, I forgot to shake this guy. Whatever.
Yeah, so this was originally supposed to be the Sochi, Russia card, and then also tonight, which you probably know.
Oh, ESPN, Jesus fucking Christ.
ESPN has the, what fucking award show is tonight?
Not the ESPYs, because it's already happened.
It's like Football Hall of Fame or something?
Oh, the NFL Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
No, wait, I thought that was already yesterday.
I think it's today.
Oh, no, it's today, because yesterday's the Hall of Fame game.
I think it's tonight. So I think that's why this card is on early in the morning, is because they couldn't switch it after they couldn't book Sochi. But if you notice who's on this card, it all of a sudden makes sense why it's a Sochi, Russia card.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into this shit.
Actually, we can talk this first fight since it has not started yet. Right now, they're just playing clips of Robbie Lawler being fucking terrifying.
I'll let you talk about it because I have no fucking clue. And I was lying and I just agreed with you. So.
Well, you weren't lying. But you weren't exactly... so Hannah Goldie is a short, stocky... kind of counter fighter. She spent a lot of time fighting off her back foot, and a lot of lead leg kicks. Lead kicks kicks with the lead leg. Throws them high and low. She just spent a lot of time circling in her Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series fight for I think she was episode 1 on this season of Contender Series. So overall, I mean, it's pretty. It should be solid, but. I just think Miranda Granger is probably too well-rounded. Miranda Granger has a whole bunch of subs behind her. She's looked really good in CFFC in her last 2 fights. And I find it... If she's guillotining people like Amy Montenegro and getting wins over Jamie Colleen, I think that Hannah Goldie to win this fight is going to just have to stay on her feet the entire time. I don't think she can do that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think she can do that as well, mostly because I'm just agreeing with you.
Yeah.
And I'm pretending I know what I'm talking about.
To be fair, Hannah Goldie is a bricked up little 125er though, so
okay.
She's fucking bricked up. She looks kind of like well, that's not nice. Let's just say she's like Dennis Seaver levels.
Now you have to say it.
Well, she's like Dennis Seaver levels of bricked up. She's like Jeff Nowitzki will be calling levels of bricked up.
As long as her opponent doesn't call her a Nazi. Just kidding.
Checks out. Cool, man. Well, we will keep on moving on then. But yeah, we got what are the odds like on that? I'm guessing Goldie's
Let's not forget the odds.
Favorite.
Goldie, yep. A -116 to a -103 over Granger.
That sounds about right.
Yep.
I think Goldie definitely is better on the feet. I just don't think she's going to be able to keep it there.
Next up, we have a men's welterweight bout between Brazilian fighter Claudio Silva, who's looking a little bit like Uncle Hinach in his picture here on Tapology, going up against American fighter Cole Williams.
He does, actually. That's pretty great. He looks like he might be rolling with Hinach, actually.
He is. Caralho. Anyways, Claudio Silva, last time we saw him was UFC on ESPN +5. How's that for confusing? It's ESPN 5, but last time we saw him was ESPN Plus 5. That was March 16th, where he defeated Danny Roberts. Is that Hot Chocolate?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hot Chocolate Roberts via armbar at the middle end of the third round. His opponent, Cole Williams, the American. This is his UFC debut. I am going with Uncle Hinach's doppelganger here via, you know what? I'm going to go sub.
What round?
Fuck it, because why not? Round 2.
So I've got Silva sub round 1.
Okay.
Probably
That's
head and
fine.
arm triangle, if I was to guess, or RNC if Cole gives us back. Yeah, I just think Claudio Silva's too well-rounded, and while he is still very hittable on the feet, he had a hell of a scrap with Danny Roberts, and even though that sub at the end was it was a weird end to that fight, it's still Claudio Silva, I think, will definitely get the fight to the ground, and I think probably early. So yeah, I'm taking sub first. I'm guessing Silva's got to be a pretty big favorite.
Let's find out. The odds say, oh my fuck, yeah. Yeah, Silva's a minus 556 to a plus 395.
That's not
so
unwarranted, probably.
Take that as you will. This next fight is a women's flyweight bout between Italian fighter Mara Romero Barella going up against American fighter Barb Honchak.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Lauren Murphy.
That's right. See, you say you didn't watch. Oh no, wait, that was the flyweight season.
I just think the greatest thing, and I don't know if he did on purpose, was when Daniel Cormier was in the octagon and he's like, Barb Honchak, I'm not Barb! Like, just yells it out.
Was that her last fight?
That was like 2 or 3 fights ago, but I remember like he legitimately like wasn't even in on the joke. He was like, Barb Honchak, and she's like, I'm not Barb, and everyone's like, what the fuck?
He talked about it on his podcast too, how bad he felt.
Yeah, he's like, oh shit, sorry.
Oh, you know what? That was her win over Barb, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. So that just made it worse. Anyways, last time we saw Mara Romero Barella, she had a split decision victory over Tayla Santos last February. And last time we saw Lauren Murphy. Oh, yeah, she had a to Sajara Eubanks.
Yep.
Which was, like a year ago, June 1st.
She's had a lot of time off.
Can you hear me now?
Can hear you. Let me turn off the fights in the background, and that should be a little better.
Okay, yeah, it just says poor connection right now on Skype.
Yeah, it should be fine.
Oh, I hear you better now.
Yeah,
it's better. It's good. We're good.
Yeah, I made the mistake of putting the fights on, and it totally tanked my internet.
It's all good. Yeah, I got Mara Romero Barella as well, because I think that's what she's.
Yep.
I got her.
Yeah, for anybody that didn't catch it, I think Mara Romero Barella kind of just bullies her in the clinch and makes a long night for
and the Barb. Odds for those who care, Barella is a favorite at minus 222 to a plus 181 over Barb. Just kidding, Lauren Murphy. Anyways, this next fight is at men's bantamweight.
You had Barella by decision, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Between
Matt Danger Schnell and Jordan Espinosa. Last time we saw Matt Danger Schnell, he's on a nice little 3-fight win streak here in the UFC. Good for him. He triangle choked out Louis Smolka just this past March 9th.
Yep.
Matt Schnell is that American top team.
Fight.
That was a good fight. It's the American top team. It's a good place to be.
No shit.
I think it's the number 1 gym in the world. After that's probably TriStar. After that, I guess. I don't know. Well,
Fortis is starting to gain some
Fortis
real
is
fucking
good
traction.
too. There's a lot of good gyms. He's going up against Jordan Espinosa. Last time we saw Espinosa, it looks like he was at flyweight. He had a decision victory over Eric Shelton. Also, just in this past March. I like Evan Schnell. Not Evan Schnell. What's his name? Matt Schnell? Oh, I knew someone named Evan Schnell growing up. That's why I always confused me. This dude I went to school with, his name's Evan Schnell. Shouts out to Evan, wherever you're at, dude. I think he lives in Hawaii, so Shaka, bro. Everyone's like, fuck you, dude. Just kidding. Yeah, I like Matt Schnell in this fight. Has his opponent been subbed?
Ooh, that's juicy. I should specify that beer is very juicy.
Okay, you know what? I got him via sub. Fuck it. Second round. Why not?
He does have nasty subs. That triangle he caught on Luis Smolka, where he had the triangle, let the triangle go to catch it again, and just snap it on super tight. That shit was nasty. I like Schnell in this fight for sure. I think a lot of this is going to come down to Matt Schnell's really good at the in-between parts of like kind of the transitions between grappling and striking, especially coming out of the clinch. He's very good at hitting angles in the clinch and striking out of it. Espinosa is a really ortho feint heavy game, a lot of in-out footwork, but he kept getting caught coming in by Shelton. Like Shelton just kept timing him and catching.
Matrix again. I know Morpheus really wants you back.
Okay.
Talk again. It says for.
I've got Matt Schnell via TKO by clipping what's his face when he's coming in. God damn it, it's doing it again, isn't it?
Okay, you got Matt Schnell by TKO because he's gonna clip the guy in the face coming in. I heard that.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I can hear you better now. Yeah, the odds on that. Espinoza, okay, is a minus 145 to a plus 117 of Matt Schnell. Moving on.
Really? Espinosa's the favorite in that?
Evidently. Yeah, I'm surprised too.
Huh.
I know, they probably fucked it up. Okay, can you hear me now?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Okay, it doesn't say poor connection anymore.
Well,
yeah. Good. As much as good as we were talking up Skype, it's going through a rough patch right now.
Yeah, it was doing fine in the first segment.
Okay, we're good. I think Agent Smith is after one of us, clearly.
Checks out.
And my house is not haunted. I keep hearing voices, but I forget that it's 9:30 and everyone else is waking up now.
Oh, there you go.
So,
also, shouts out to Zoltan Bose in the chat, who is hanging out and has Covington, which... Unfortunately, I might as well. We'll talk about it later. And also, evidently...
spoiler alert. I have Covington, too.
Yeah. I don't want to have Covington, but...
I mean, I have Robbie in fantasy. I mean, that'd be great if he wins, but I don't think he's going to win this fight. So, spoiler, and I'll tell you why in a bit. Yeah, okay. Should I get on? I probably should get on in this next fight.
Yep, before my internet tries to fuck me again.
Yeah. Women's flyweight bout between Antonina Shevchenko, also known as the older sister of Valentina. Just kidding. I'm not going to disrespect her like that, right? She's going up against a fighter that G6 would hate because she's from the Czech Republic, Lucie Pudilova.
I always forget about his weird fake hate of Czechs.
Okay, wait. Are we doing a commentary next week?
No, I think it's a week after.
Fuck. Okay, I'm gonna text him after this, dude. I'm like, hey man, we're doing a commentary. 2 weeks. Get out here for a day.
Yeah, it would be dope to get G6.
He was just here like 2 weeks ago, and he's like, "When are you guys doing another commentary?" You know. And I was like, "I'll let you know."
I miss that dude. He's the best.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
Also, what did you have Schnell? What round?
Oh, sub round 2.
Second. All right, cool.
Okay, so seeing people talk shit about Antonina, they're like, okay, just how bad is Antonina Shevchenko? She lost to Roxanne Modafferi. First of all, go fuck yourself.
My cousin.
Second of all, I got Lucie Pudilova. Well, I don't know, though. Shevchenko matches it better against Pudilova because I think Pudilova's less of a grappler, right? And she kind of more of like a Muay Thai fighter.
Yeah, she had a goddamn war with Irene Aldana.
Then you know what? This could be a good fucking fight because that's kind of Shevchenko's bread and butter. She clearly can't fight against grapplers like my cousin, but she can definitely stand and bang with other strikers. She's a Muay Thai background, so this should be competitive. But I still like Pudilova. I still just haven't
seen... As Dan Tom would call her, Lucy Pudilova.
That sounds like a Dan Tom thing.
Yeah, it's real good.
Yeah, I got Pudilova. It's going to be a decision.
So
Yeah.
I have a very similar feeling, but I'm taking Antonina via decision, mostly because I just think Lucy Pudilova is going to march forward and eat shots, and while I think
Okay.
she will have a decent amount of success with that, I think that she will also end up running into some trouble with Antonina being able to kind of circle off as she advances and pot shot her. So I have Antonina in a very lackluster decision.
Okay. I could see that. For those curious about the odds, Antonina is a minus 152 to a plus 127.
Sounds about right.
This next fight, I'll just let you break this down. I don't really know how to go through this, but it's a welterweight bout between Mickey Gall and Salim Touari, who is from Austria, I think.
Poland.
That's the Poland. I'm sorry. I apologize. No, the Austrian flag is it's red, white, and then red. Sorry, it's fucking Poland. I knew that. I'm tired.
Well,
yeah.
We did almost start the show at 7, and then actually started at 8. So
Yeah. To be fair, I think I went to bed at 12:30, so I got kind of some sleep.
yeah,
so.
I did about the same, but I was forced to drink with girlfriend Karen and watch Jackie Brown. So
Jackie Brown is a fucking classic,
it's actually better than I remembered it being.
especially
It's actually
the line about the AK-47.
pretty solid.
Yeah, just never mind. I was gonna say, well, if you know Quentin Tarantino, there's a certain word he likes using in a lot of his movies. So
Is it foot fetish? Is that the word? Oh no, wait, that's the other thing.
I mean, for that movie, yeah, there's definitely foot fetish in Jackie
For
Brown.
all of his
Sure.
movies, fucking Kill Bill is just a foot fetish porn.
Not Django though. I don't really feet
Well,
in Django.
I don't. Yeah, it's hard to mix feet into Django or
That
Inglourious
is true.
Bastards. You know what I mean? Just by the nature of the content.
Yeah. Shouts out to his new movie. That's I gotta go check that out. The Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It's supposed to be really good.
Yeah, I love Tarantino movies that he doesn't direct.
I'll say this: he's not directing this movie. I believe it's Star Trek, and it's gonna be rated R. And he wrote a script. That sounds amazing.
That sounds like
I
it's
go-
gonna be fucking.
I don't give a fuck.
That
man.
sounds like a foot fetish movie.
Okay, that sounds hilariously. I don't know if it could be bad. Sorry, I know we're on a fucking little tangent here.
I
but-
mean, I don't know what to make of this Mickey.
I'll
Mouse
just say
fight,
this:
so-
my dad is a massive Trekkie, like old school, none of that new generation shit. And I'm gonna convince him, like, you have to watch this now. Clearly, it's old school mixed with some R-rated shit. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I like shit like that. I know Hollywood already remakes a bunch of stuff as it is, but if you get kind of like you want to call him an auteur director or some shit like that, you know, as a specialized director, you know, it makes that shit interesting. So I'm a sucker for that. So
There you go. I don't know. Tarantino fucking bugs me.
he is kind of weird as
I
fuck.
love
though.
his scripts. I hate his directing.
No, and like I tell you,
His directing,
like you
just
say
pops,
that,
it just
he's
steals
way better
from
writer.
everybody.
He's
Yeah.
a way better writer.
True Romance, one of the greatest movies of all time.
Oh no, like there's no argument there. Yeah, just the whole monologue with Sicilians and Italians.
Yeah, yeah. Just the eggplant line alone.
yeah. Like I told you, I'm in a Sicilian. I call him an eggplant. It's very racist, but he didn't get it. I'm like, you fucking dense motherfucker. You don't.
To be fair, it doesn't help that Patricia Arquette, or it doesn't hurt rather that Patricia Arquette is maybe the hottest person on the planet in that movie.
Yeah, I mean,
Alabama. Anyway,
yeah.
Goddamn, I love that movie. Anyway, way off topic.
Shouts out to Gary Oldman.
Yeah,
Who finally got an Oscar. Who finally got an Oscar last year. Shouts out.
Oh, Jesus. Christian Slater. Okay.
And Christian Slater.
Oh right,
okay.
Mickey Gall versus
So,
Tuahri. I'm taking Mickey Gall. I don't know why. I don't have any faith. I just think that Mickey Gall's loss to Diego Sanchez actually was a big part of that loss was just his kidneys fucking failing.
Oh, I will defend it. I think that was a little bit of a fluke. I mean, shouts out to Diego and his performance, but no, Mickey Gall should have won that fight.
Yeah,
he
I think it was
looked like death.
I think it was literally his kidneys failing is why he looked so terrible. I think he probably would have knocked out Diego Sanchez if it wasn't for that. Maybe that's because I had Mickey Gall via KO in that fight going into it. That's quite possible, and because I really like Mickey Gall and he's a big fan of podcasts. So I don't know. I could be very biased, but yeah, I'm taking Mickey Gall via decision in this.
I'm just going to agree with you. So,
although now that I say that out loud, has Mickey Gall ever won a decision?
I don't know, but you're not going to agree with these odds.
Mickey Gall's only decision he ever won was in his very first fight as an amateur. So, feeling real good about my pick.
Take that as you will. Salim Touari, who's a minus 127 favorite over plus 103 Gall.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured it would be.
I mean, yeah. This next fight,
Who did you have in that?
What's up?
Who did you have?
Oh, I'm going with you. I'm just picking Gall.
Gall decision?
Yeah.
All right, and then let's move on to the main card on ESPN.
Next fight we have is a light heavyweight between Mr. Baby Eater himself, Serbian fighter Darko Stosic.
Hey, Mr. Baby Eater, would you look at all the mashes? That was a sweet Bay Area rap reference for y'all.
Yeah, I'm lost there, so I imagine that's like Little B or some shit. I don't know how many Bay Area guys.
I think it's Mac Dre, right?
Oh well, that
hey,
checks
Mr.
out even more.
Babysitter, would you look at all the mashes that blood's going out? Is you ever gonna pass
You're gonna go Andre Feeling do the Thizzle dance too?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Never go full Andre Feeling.
Yeah. No, I heard like some people actually from the Bay, bro. That guy is embarrassing. It's like what? Like I'm not from the Bay, that's why I don't care. But still, like, come on.
They're just embarrassed because he's a white kid rapping. You remember that?
I'm like, you know what? I'm embarrassed for you because you say hella, which should never be in your just.
Hella's hella tight, dog. What are you talking about?
Yeah, or as South Park, what do I say? That's hella gay. Fucking Cartman. Jesus.
Checks out.
Anyways, Darko Stosic is going up against Nigerian fighter Kennedy Nchukwu.
Yep.
Nchukwu.
You fucking nailed it.
Nchukwu. Wow. What? Just call me fucking John Anik.
Yeah, call you Johnny Annies.
Yeah, Johnny Annies. Just don't call me Johnny Boney Jonies. Anyways, Darko Stosic, last time we saw, he lost a unanimous decision to Devin Clark. Wow, wait. It's like 2 months ago. Okay. Yeah. So he's fighting again. Kennedy Nchukwu, last time we saw him, and I'm not hearing ghosts in my house. It's just my roommate, so I'm not going to panic. Just kidding. Nchukwu lost via triangle. Oh, was this that last-minute triangle choke to Paul Craig? Okay. So luckily for Nchukwu, Darko is not a grappler. At least not that I remember. He's a dude who hits really fucking hard. I'm kind of leaning Darko, but to me, this is a coin flip.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I said coin flip, so I got flip to one.
I'm real torn on this.
All right. Darko is heads, Kennedy's tails. Oh, looks like I'm going Darko.
All right, Donnie. What method you at?
Has Kennedy been knocked out? How's his chin? No, he's been knocked out. I got decision.
Yeah, I've been going back and forth on this one because while I want to pick Darko Stosic because Kennedy looked super lackluster in his fight against Paul Craig, Darko's only win is over Jeremy Kimball.
Oh, shit.
Which, I'll just say, I picked him via knockout in the first round in that fight. So, shit. I'm really undecided on this. And you know what? Just to keep it fun, I guess I'll go with Kennedy just on the fact that I think Saif Saud is going to yell so much in the corner during this fight that it's going to be hard for him to not throw up it for 2 fights in a row. I think if he does throw, he has a decent fight of winning this, or a decent chance of winning this fight. So I guess I'm going Kennedy. I guess I'm taking him. God, am I taking Kennedy by decision? Seems like a bad pick.
So JFK by decision.
You know what? Fuck it. I'm taking Kennedy via knockout in the second.
Fuck it. Why not? The odds. Darko Stosic is a minus 114 to a minus 105 favorite over Kennedy via assassination. All right. Let's see. So next fight we have is a lightweight bout between Scott Hot Sauce Holtzman going up against not Stun Gun, but Mr. Maestro,
That's right.
Hyun Ma. Wait, wasn't he Hyun Kim too? Which is why they called him not. Oh, so he's smart.
Changed his name.
Yeah, that's actually very smart. Props to you, Maestro. But see, we always remember because one was lightweight, one was welterweight, so just kind of more
Also,
logical approach to it.
does Dong Kim even fight anymore? We do this every time this gets brought up, and I don't think he has.
I don't think he actually does. I swear to God, I don't think it, because we literally would have seen him in so many fights. Like, I'm not even trying to be a dick. Like, we would have seen him by now.
Yeah.
100%. Anyways, Maestro going up against Hot Sauce. Last time we saw Hot Sauce.
Yeah, his last fight was in 2017. Oh, against Colby Covington. God damn.
Of all people. Last time we saw Hot Sauce, he fought Nick Lentz and fucking lost.
Yeah.
Take that as you will. BJ Penn is fighting Nick Lentz soon, which I wish
Jesus
wasn't a thing.
Christ. I hope they just kill each other in the ring.
Yeah, I hope BJ
That
is
was a little
on.
dark.
I hope BJ is on all the blow.
Yeah. I don't know. I think everyone wins by them both getting more head trauma in that fight.
Yep, and so
That
as
was-
we're
that
both
was
partially
ultra
in the
sarcasm,
Matrix
by the
right
way.
now, Maestro, last time we saw him, he got knocked the fuck out by Devontae Smith this past February. I don't really know how to... I don't know, Nick Lentz is a grappler. Maestro likes to stand and bang. I got Hot Sauce. Fuck it. I gotta be a decision.
Yeah, I think that's the right pick. Holtzman's looked real good, aside from the Nick Lentz fight, which nobody really looks that great against Nick Lentz, even in a win. How matrixy am I?
Touche. Yeah. No, you're good.
Okay, cool.
You can tell.
I can tell that it's like barely holding on. So, yeah, I just don't have any faith in Maestro after the last couple fights he's had. He got that win over Takanori Gomi, which we all saw coming. The Devontae Smith loss was rough, and the Damian Brown fight, while he hung in there, that split decision was questionable from what I remember. I'm gonna take Hot Sauce probably via decision. I think I'm going the same way.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of feel like this. Round 2. TKO, if I want to be specific. Ground and pound. I don't know. I just remember he's violent. Unless you're a grappler.
Yeah. I'm going to lean similar. I'm going to take... God, I hope the fucking video isn't totally shit in the bed right now like it says it is. But then it doesn't seem to be all that terrible. How choppy am I?
You're good now, but it was for some, like, ironically when you're like, I hope it's not. You're like, fuck.
Yep. Yeah. Next week I'm gonna work on the internet stuff for next week.
The only reason why I say Matrix is because of that part where Neo's like, he's just like going through the phone and it starts chopping.
Yep.
It just starts chopping the fuck up. I'm like, oh boy.
So here's the thing. I'm taking Giles via decision on this.
That's probably the smart thing.
I don't know why. I'm not very confident in it. Jerome Mearshart, I think, could absolutely take this fight, especially via decision. Trevin Giles, we haven't really seen. He has the impressive win over Neto BJJ and the win over James Boknovic. The loss to Zach Cummings. Zach Cummings is better than people give him credit for. But Gerald Mearshart has been, in his losses, they have been to high-level motherfuckers like Kevin Holland, Jack Hermanson, and Thiago Santos.
I mean, yeah,
that is
high level as fuck.
But his wins are over dudes like Oscar Pachota, Eric Spicely, and Ryan James, and Joe Gigliotti from Contender Series. So It's hard to tell at this point in both their careers. I think this is a good test for both dudes, though. And I'm barely leaning Giles by decision, but not real confident either way.
I mean, I got him in fantasy, so I have some sort of confidence in him. But yeah. The odds, for those who give a shit, Giles is a minus 175 to a plus 146 over Gerald Metershark. Take that as you will. I thought I loaded up the next fight, but I did not. We got a lightweight bout between Joaquim Silva from Brazil going up against Afghanistan's Nasrat Haqparast, and I didn't even load that properly, so I need to load it again. Joaquim Silva against Nasrat Haqparast. He's fighting out of Germany, but I know he's from Afghanistan. Joaquim Silva, the Brazilian, last time we saw him, he knocked out Jared Gordon via punches at the end of the third round last December. And Mini Gastelum, as a lot of us call him, Nasrat Haqparast, because he does look like Kelvin Gastelum, but smaller. Wait, this dude's only 23? Holy fuck, this dude's got a ceiling.
Yeah,
okay,
right.
wow, no wonder why he's got a height. Jesus Christ.
Faraz keeps walking around telling everybody he's a future champ, evidently. Like, he's come up to the media multiple times and said he's a future champ.
All right, is Faraz, I know he's Middle Eastern himself. Is he from Afghanistan or is he Persian? I can't remember.
I can't remember.
I think he might be from Afghanistan too. I'm not trying to like be all coincidental, but I swear to God, he's from Sahabi.
Yeah, I know Canada has like a lot of.
I'm not trying to be a dick. Like I'm being dead. I'm just like I'm curious. Like it would check out for sure. I mean, why it would attract Hawk Pros. It doesn't really. I don't say it doesn't matter because it matters to them, but yeah, you know why I was trying to think of that. That's actually a really good point.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Oh, dog. Obviously, he's Canadian.
I mean, yeah, the nationality.
I know.
Clearly, like I know. Well, I like that you said that because a lot of people are like, "What's your nationality?" You know, like your ethnic. Oh, you mean your ethnicity?
Oh, like
bro?
all those
your
geniuses
blood?
that keep being like,
yeah. What's your nationality? I'm American. Oh no, I mean like.
I like everybody that keeps telling dude who knocked out Anthony Joshua that he's not Mexican. That's my favorite.
That makes me laugh. I saw him on Jerry.
Yeah.
Like, dude, he's American. Yes, like you literally can tell by his accent, but his blood is Mexican.
Well, also,
he's fuck off.
Number one, I guess people don't understand the difference between nationality and race. Number one. Number two, clearly none of those people are from Southern California.
Yeah. Like, your nationality and my nationality is American. Just like if I was fucking English, the whole time I'd be talking like no one has to fucking lay it out for you. It's obvious. That's how it is with every country. You get immigrants in general. That's just how that works.
Immigration. How does that work?
Yeah, right.
That's not relevant.
What does that mean?
To this card
I want to have a better opportunity in life from where I'm at. That's why I move. That's what moving is all about. Anyways, the odds on this, our boy Mini Gaslam. I don't even know. What did I say? Did I say decision?
I've got my decision.
Yeah, I'm going to say thing. Our boy Nasrat Haqparast is a minus 286 to a plus 230 favorite over Joaquim Silva.
I think it's actually Joaquim.
You're probably right. So Joaquim, is it because he's Brazilian? I don't know. Brazil. Next fight we have. God, you know what reminds me of? It was fast.
Yeah,
thank
that's
you.
what it's from. Yeah,
God, fucking goddamn it.
So
yeah, he was just like this. I remember like the cops get him and he's like this. What does he say? It's like Dwayne Johnson that has him or some shit. And he's like, "This is Brazil." So it's like, what the fuck is going on? And I was like, like, oh my god, this movie's so dumb. Like, holy shit. Like, that's why I'll just, like, the original trilogy is on Netflix. Do yourself a favor. If you're going to watch Fast and Furious, just watch the first, second, and then watch Tokyo Drift, and then just disregard all the other ones.
Yeah, Tokyo Drift is by far the best one.
Oh, it is. Some people say the worst. No, it's because you have some redneck from Alabama.
Hey, good news. Chris, we won our first pick. Miranda Granger won by decision, evidently.
Hell yeah. But yeah, you got to do Alabama. He's like, I only race for pink slips. And that's this dude. He's like, he's supposed to be in high school, and he looks like he's 30 years old.
Fucking so good. And then he goes to Japan.
This is a great dude. That movie is so good.
Well,
It's
plus
like,
it
all
has
the great-
what's the Asian dude's name in that? That's the best character in the entire series. Tran?
Han, dude.
Han, thank you.
He was so good that they brought him back for. Well, they're like, oh wait. At the end of the movie, he's like, I don't know. Han was in American Muscle. He was when he was rolling with me. And they're like, all right, yeah. And it's funny too. They're like, oh, the other Japanese guy, and I'm like, you know, he's Korean, right? The dude says it like fucking 3 times.
Also,
but
his last name's Han.
Yeah, he's literally Korean.
Yeah, it's literally
Like,
so Korean.
if you watch the movie, he doesn't speak a lick of Japanese, and he doesn't really look Japanese. So, go figure. Okay.
Go figure
White-
the Fast and the Furious movies would
we'll just blame-
misidentify an Asian.
Let's blame ignorant white people in Hollywood.
Yeah.
You know, as per usual. Anyways, people are like, oh, why are these guys talking about race? Like, dude, it's fucking 10 in the morning for us. We've been up since like 7. Fuck you.
Right.
Anyways,
I'm multiple.
speaking of a
drinks in.
fight, speaking of a fight that, we're surprised it hasn't happened yet. We're surprised it hasn't happened yet, and we're disappointed that it's happening at this point.
I'm not that disappointed. I'm disappointed it's the goddamn co-main event. But
Okay, yes.
then again,
That's-
Jim Miller in New Jersey, like, you have to do it.
So yeah, Jim Miller, Jersey guy, going up against Clay Guida, the Carpenter, Blake's favorite fighter. He's not, by the way. I remember back in the day, one of the first UFC cards I watched, Blake's like, isn't that the guy that moves around the cage a lot? I'm like, yeah.
Clay Guida?
Yeah.
That's
But yeah.
ironic because it is one of the favorite fighters of your other roommate, Trevor. Trevor
Yeah.
fucking loves Clay Guida.
I know he does. That's what makes it fun.
To be fair, Trevor
And,
used to look a lot like Clay Guida when he was in high school, so...
What's funny though too is like I remember last Quigley's fight in the Octagon interview. He's just like moving around like this, and then, of course every Reddit comment. It's like, how much blow is he on? It's like, I get it. You've probably never done blow. Either you've
Right.
never done. Never mind. I'm not gonna.
Watch a Connor video and then ask that.
Thank you. Yeah. Anyway, speaking of cocaine, the last time we saw Clay Guida, he won a very unanimous decision over cocaine addict BJ Penn.
Oh, I thought
So
you were going to
this-
say, speaking of cocaine, Jim Miller did a great cover of a song.
Well,
about
see,
Johnny
do you see how
Bones.
cocaine like interconnects 3 fighters here? Isn't that just wonderful?
I mean,
So
cocaine interconnects a lot of fighters based on what
I
I
mean-
found out about fighters.
cocaine's a hell of a drug.
That's
Just ask Rick James if you were alive. Rest in peace. Jim Miller, last time we saw him, he rear naked choked out Jason Gonzalez last April 27th. Who's going to win this fight? I know Clay Guida has really good submission defense. Jim Miller has a jab. Dude, this fight fucking blows.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's tough to break down because who knows which version of both these dudes are going to show up. Is it post Lyme disease Jim Miller? Is it what version of Clay Guida is it? Is it I'm going to stick my neck directly into a guillotine Clay Guida? Or is it Clay Guida who's going to box people up from the outside and then hold BJ Penn against the fence for a round? I don't know.
I like Jim Miller. I like motivated Jim Miller. I like Jersey Jim Miller. I like post Lyme disease Jim Miller. I don't give a shit. I'm going Jim Miller. I like Clay Guida. He's a nice guy.
I like both these guys a lot. I think they're two of the better dudes in the
What I
sport.
don't like is Clay Guida's brother's an asshole, evidently. But other than that, I like Clay Guida. But
Yeah, I have heard that. What method do you got for Miller?
decision for sure. Clay Guida's durable as fuck. Let's not kid ourselves.
I think if this goes to decision, I think Clay Guida probably steals the third. Because he's Clay Guida.
Yeah, checks out.
But, yeah, I'm going the same way. I'm going Miller decision. I think, like I mentioned earlier, Clay Guida could absolutely stick his neck directly into a guillotine in the first minute and a half. But, yeah, I like Miller to probably take the first 2 rounds and possibly drop the third off of Guida's activity level. So, that's how I'm leaning.
I like it. The odds on this for those who are rat
I
bastards.
gotta imagine Miller is a decent favorite, like probably 150 or so.
Yep, he's a minus 149 to a plus 126.
Fucking nailed that shit. I did not look at those lines. So
You're like,
that's
S
pretty
shape BMW. Woo! All right, so this brings us to the main event of the evening. We kind of gave you a little spoiler alert for those paying attention. We got
picked this, didn't we?
We got the interim champion, Colby Covington, Chaos, going up against former welterweight champion, Ruthless Robbie Lawler. So how will we break down this fight? Well, first of all, we're going to spoil you and say that we both think Covington's going to win.
Unfortunately, I just think the odds that Covington steals 3 of these rounds with his wrestling is probably decent.
It's his wrestling. It's his pressure. Robbie historically has not been good against someone who pressures so well. Yeah. Colby has some of the best cardio in the game. He does. Hate him all you want. This dude's a machine. He moves forward constantly. Great pressure, great wrestling. His striking, sure, it's a little left. There's some left to be desired. We get that. But, dude, he's at ATT. He's training with George Masvidal. Dude, he's training with Dustin Poirier. He's training with killers. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, there's someone who's going to be able to emulate Robbie. I like Robbie. Does he have a puncher's chance? Of course he does.
Robbie could absolutely melt Colby within the first
I'll say this.
couple minutes.
If Robbie wins, he's still not getting a title shot. Unfortunately for him.
No, although I wouldn't hate it.
I wouldn't hate it. Yeah, no, I'd like Robbie. Robbie seems like a fucking cool dude. I'll just say this. Colby's going to win, and I'm going decision. Robbie's tough. He's not going to get finished. I mean, if Colby's finishing him, it's via sub, but I can't really remember how his jiu-jitsu is, or at least he's kind of like sub wrestling.
I mean, Colby's jiu-jitsu is very solid, but Robbie's defensive jiu-jitsu is equally solid.
Yeah, so Colby's winning this fight, and this is the thing. Hate him, whatever you want to do. I don't hate the guy at all because I know it's a shtick, and he's doing it literally just to promote fights. I'm sure he's a great person. I think I'm not going to doubt that. This is the thing, though. I think it's best for this division if Covington wins. If he wins, he gets a title shot against Kamaru Usman, Marty Fake, whatever you want to call him. Go along with the thing. Marty Fake Usman kind of makes me crack up every time, though.
It's very dumb.
It's funny as fuck.
Whoever wrote that for Colby is very clever, and I have a feeling
it's hilarious because I know it riles up Kamaru Usman.
And it's just a very clever play.
I'll say this. It's the best for the division because Colby gets a shot. Okay, does he beat Usman? Who knows? I doubt it. My thing in that fight is Usman's striking is not good. His wrestling is
getting way better though.
It's getting better. I'll say his wrestling's probably better than Colby's. But then again,
probably.
But I'm only saying probably. And yes, and I will fucking stand by this to the grave. I still think Woodley wins the rematch. I don't give a fuck what anyone says against Usman. Woodley froze and panicked. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. I don't know if I'm a Woodley stan. What do you want to call it? That fight was
Woodley
fucked up.
takes that rematch, and I'm a huge Woodley fan, but
dude, he wants the belt. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, but
oh my god, he takes that rematch. He wants the belt. You can do. No.
I just don't know.
I like Usman, and he's great. He's a great, but no. I'll just say this. Like I've been saying this before. Colby versus Usman is one of the best matchups to make. It's competitive. Colby's going to bring it to Usman. It's because of that pressure.
100%. It'll be fun as hell.
Like, as goofy as his stick is, he's probably one of the most mentally tough fighters.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I'm not even kidding.
Absolutely.
Like, Colby's... So, this is the thing. I think it's better for the division if Colby wins, because it's what happens. You do Colby versus Usman, and this is my ideal timeline. As much as people hate this. Colby wins. Fuck it. Say he beats Usman, right? Grindy decision, right? Say he out-wrestles him. Doesn't matter to me. He's a champ.
We got 2 fights right because Claudio Silva got a first-round rear naked choke.
Yeah,
fucking nailed that pick.
Let's go. Anyways, this is my ideal timeline. Colby beats Usman, and then guess what? Colby versus George Masvidal. However, here's the catch. If Colby wins this fight today, right, there's no way they're not doing Jorge versus Leon Edwards. And I love to see that fight too.
I don't know, man. They might fuck Colby.
It's got to be a main event. It's got to be 5 rounds.
They might just fuck Colby though, like because they have proven they really don't like Colby.
You can't. I mean, they can't. I mean, it's Dana. There's no way. No. I swear to, if he wins, there's no way they dog him. Like
I would be surprised.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but like you can't, dude. Like he beat RDA. It depends how he beats Lawler.
Yeah.
If he knocks out Lawler, fuck yeah, he's going to tell a shot. It doesn't matter. If he gets a decision, which we expect,
right?
Yeah. If Robbie wins, he could talk himself into it, but he didn't talk Natasha. No, they're just giving it to George. What they'll do is they'll do George versus Leon. Division's great.
I think Jorge is going to get the title shot.
I'll say this: if Colby wins, Colby getting a title shot, 100%. 100%.
I don't think so.
Do that.
They don't like Colby, and Jorge Masvidal has Ali Abdelaziz as an agent, doesn't he?
No, he's Kawa.
Oh, okay, same thing.
Which Colby talked shit about.
But
Colby said just yesterday, he's like, fuck the Kawa brothers. I'll fight my best friend Jorge if I have to. It's like, well, you guys already admitted that. So you didn't have to say that, but sure.
Yeah. What I would really love to... I just realized during this that Robbie Lawler and Jorge Masvidal have never fought, and that is a goddamn
That'd be a fun
tragedy
fight
for the sport that they have never fought. How the fuck have they both been around? I guess it's because Lawler for a lot of his career was middleweight and Jorge was lightweight for a lot of his career. But
Lawler once fought Jacare. Imagine that.
Yeah, that was fucking Jesus. Strikeforce Robbie.
By the way, Ben Askren and Damian Maia have agreed to fight each other.
In like the most gentlemanly way of all time. It was goddamn adorable.
Who do you like in that, by the way?
I
kind of like Askren. Yeah, I like Askren because wrestling usually has a big advantage. Well, his wrestling pedigree at least.
Yeah,
but K1 Maya. K1 Maya.
Yeah. Well, dude, actually, yeah, K1 Maya, like, he can't stuff the takedowns though.
No, Askren's winning at 500%, dude. There's already.
I think I would not be surprised to see Damian Maya catch something.
Oh no!
Like he'll.
But I'm just saying.
Specifically, I would say
based on what Colby did, and then what Kamaru did.
Yeah, but none of them wrestled him.
Yeah, what's up?
None of them wrestled him.
I guess they just didn't they just shoot for the single the whole time?
Damian Maia kept shooting for a single and to pull half guard like he always does, and they just kept circling out at like that.
I'm just saying this: if they can do that, like Askren can do that too.
Askren's not going to do that. Askren's going to wrestle him.
Oh, I see what you mean.
So, which makes that way scarier, especially if Askren at all tries to pass out of guard. That actually, I would say, is a worse move because Damian Maia out of his guard is real slick, but Damian Maia from half guard is even more slick, and it opens up the leg lock opportunities, which I think either Damian Maia wins that fight via sub in the first round and a half, or Askren pummels him for 5 rounds. But either way, I've been saying since before Askren got signed, that is the fight I want to see him have. I think it would be so fucking fun.
Man, why not? Anyways, that's it for me, man. I know we're coming up on our time limit here.
Are. Yeah,
and the card is going on, so
we're already an hour into this card. So we'll go ahead and wrap this here. But we both have Colby, but via decision.
Yeah, and I'll just say this: I think Colby deserves a title shot. I love you, Jorge. You're great. Are you eventually going to fight Colby? Yeah, no, that's inevitable. They're going to have the whole tagline, "Oh, friends collide." All right, whatever you want to do. Yeah, they recognize that. So, yeah, my prediction right now, if you ask me, Colby fights Usman. I think Usman wins. I think they do Masvidal Edwards. I think Masvidal wins that fight, even though I could see Edwards trying to be more physical and grinding him out. And then I think Masvidal fights Usman. Who wins that? I can see Masvidal winning that. I don't know. The whole division's interesting.
Yeah. It always has been and it always will be.
I'm not going to dislike Usman as a champion, but the only thing I dislike about him is that he's talking all this bullshit, but he's not fighting. And
he's
just
injured,
admit that. Just admit that you're hurt. Like that's like, I'm not calling you fake newsman, but that's why I laugh. It's a part of it's kind of true. Like, dude, like you're talking about how you want to scrap with everyone, but you're literally not admitting you're hurt. Just say you're hurt. Like, come on. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, Tyron Woodley said he was hurt. You know what I mean, though?
Yeah, I think that's part of it, though. He's trying not to get the shit that Tyron got for being injured so much.
I get it. But, like, he was literally just on Fox the other day. What the fuck? Or not Fox. ESPN, excuse me. Saying, like, oh, yeah, blah, blah, I'm breaking this fight. These guys don't got shit. It's like, dude, are you, like, ready to fight or are you hurt? Just say you're hurt. Like, there's no shame in that.
I think he's in between. I think he's recovering. Right?
I'll just say this. That's my only issue with him. I like Kamaru Usman. He doesn't bother me, except for that. Like, just say you're ready, but don't talk shit and just say you're not hurt. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah, I hear
Like,
that.
I don't know. It's just like, just be transparent with us. Like, 'cause that's what fans want to do. Like, oh, he's ready to scrap, right? Like Conor McGregor, whatever you want to call him. At least the guy says he broke his hand, right? Then again, obviously he has a bunch of other shit he's dealing with. Clearly,
Right.
you know.
Oh, you mean Irish sports star? Sorry, I forgot. I didn't know
Oh,
who you were
excuse
talking
me.
about for a
Sorry.
minute.
My mistake there. Mr. Irish sports star. Yeah.
That's right.
Uh,
Cool, man. Well, we will go ahead and wrap this here, but I promise you for next week, you guys, we at least got this fucking video working on OBS. By the way, any podcasters out there who used to stream via Google Hangouts, which I know is most of you because it was the easiest way, OBS is not that hard to set up. You just have to make sure you're not using the Windows 10 version of Skype. You're using the application version of Skype. OBS and then NDI, and you can get that to work. I have not figured out how to get Chris's video to stop scaling yet, so I'm going to figure that out for next week.
I just realized that's actually sad.
Yeah, no, every once in a while, you're just like the top left corner of your head will show up as the entire like side of the screen, and then it'll cut back to the regular size. So,
Oh, man.
it's mostly all right, but I'll get that fixed for next week. I'll get the internet stuff fixed for next week, and should be back at it. But as always, you guys can find us TSOV Pod on Twitter. I've been a little bit less active on there, but I'm trying to be more active. So check that out. There's some fun stuff up there. Also, as always, you can find links in the description of any of the audio versions of this, or on the website, thesoundofviolence.com, where we have links to every single show we talked about. And everybody go listen to Dope MMA Podcast. If there's any shows that we don't know about, hit us up on Twitter. Let us know. Ashley, the MMA nerd, is like one of the best ever at that. She always tags us. Yeah, she always tags us in stuff where there's like new shows or people asking about shows, and that's super helpful because that's actually how I learn about a bunch. Like next week, I'm going to be looking at Deadbeat MMA, which sounds like it's pretty dope. So excited to give that a listen. But we will wrap this here, and we will be back next week for what the fuck card is that?
Let's find out.
Here, I think I have an easy way to do this. ESPN Fun. Next is Shevchenko versus Carmouche in Uruguay, where there is fucking 10 fights on this card because so many have dropped out.
Was that the Branch one?
Branch fell out of. I think Branch fell out of this one.
This is on ESPN Plus.
Yeah, Loriano Sarapoli fell out of this card. Rachel Osovich fell off of this card, although Osovich was replaced by Polyana Marijuana, so that's pretty cool.
That's badass. Vicente Luque fighting Mike Perry. That is an interesting fight.
Yeah, there's some Osamir and Latifi is kind of fun, but it's going to be there are some fights on this card with people who I've barely heard of. Man, there are some names that I did. There are some what Eugene S. Robinson would refer to as Phantom Tollbooth fighters on here, where I'm like, oh my god, Cyril Garner.
Oh, I could see Veronica Macedo versus Rachel Oswich is the filthy casuals guide to they're both attractive. I'm going to tune in.
Yeah, checks out.
Right? I mean,
it takes the place of the. No, Rachel Osovich dropped off that.
Oh, she's not funny. Oh,
no, so now it's Polyana Marijuana versus Veronica Macedo.
Oh, see, you can see clearly how much I pay attention. So sorry to all the Chads and Brads out there who got excited for a second.
That's right, Chads and Brads. We see you, brah.
Yeah, and all the Kyles with your monster.
That's right.
Those are still around.
Well, we'll go ahead and wrap this here. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Promise we'll get the video stuff worked out. Hopefully the audio version isn't too affected by it. I like to think with OBS we will be able to do some cooler stuff video-wise, and we'll be able to actually play the clips that we do on the podcast version, so that should be cool going forward. So I guess, Chris, anything else you want to shout out before we get out of here?
No, man. That's it for me. Just wherever you're at in the country or the world, stay cool. Because I know the whole heat wave, global warming, all that bullshit, that's been fun. So yeah, just
Dude,
don't
fucking tell
die
me
on
about
it.
it. Santee is like 1,000 goddamn degrees.
Yeah, I mean, I can't complain. I don't even need to run my AC or my
The
my
high
fan
today
right
is
now.
93, and I guarantee it's going to break that.
Well, good luck to you then, sir. Go fucking have a nice frosty beverage or something to keep you cool. Play some video. I mean, if I were you, I'd fucking put the AC on, play some video games, some shit, and watch fights.
I'm gonna put the AC on and watch some fights. And
hey,
then,
you know what? You and Karen need to play some Spider-Man.
I have been. Because it's very goddamn QTE oriented.
In the beginning, but how good is it though? Regardless,
it feels real good. The web
the
swinging
combat's
feels
amazing.
So good. And the combat feels good, but I
I'll
clearly need to still get some more skills because
I'll say this. I'll say this. The more skills you get, it just gets better. That's all I'm going to say.
100%. Because right now it's still a little clunky, but
I'll say this. My brother finally been getting a play. He's almost near the end of the game, finally. And he's like, wow, this game's fucking amazing. I'm like, yeah, you dumbass. Trying to tell you. Yeah. And you know the great thing is? All the suits are free. There's like fucking 45 different suits. They give you the Tobey Maguire suit. Oh, and if you see the new Spider-Man movies, you get those suits too. So there you go, for free. Isn't that great? Like that's how that should be.
I mean, it's cool, but I'm just going to 100% wear the punk suit the entire time. Obviously.
I mean, I fucks with that. I was just blasting some Ramones because that's
so fucking dumb.
They did do the Spider-Man theme song after all, too. So it kind of checks out.
24 hours to swing. I wanna be a spider.
Yeah, Spider-Man. Yeah.
Anyway,
so enjoy that, man. I'm glad.
All right, we'll get out of here on that.
By the way, yesterday was Spider-Man Day, so sorry if y'all are late.
What the fuck is Spider-Man Day? All right, nope.
No, that was a real thing.
We're not,
I saw it on Twitter. Yesterday's, yeah, I swear to God, yesterday's Spider-Man Day.
Shut it down, nerds.
Yep. Yeah.
All right.
Like, fuck all you fucks.
Well, on that note, we are actually going to be out of here. So I'm going to go watch this card that we're missing. Here, one quick refresh. And there's still no result for Mauro Romero Borella, who I'm guessing is fighting right this fucking second. So I'm going to go watch that. And until next time, everybody, go do something decadent. We out. Lead.